Welcome to another episode of my Motor Town playthrough. Another day, another delivery for my depot construction sites. This time around, we have H-beams for everything on the northern island. I refuse to go twice, so you may notice that some of it is not really stacked up that neatly, especially the thing in the back. Well, yeah, I just needed 9 packs of H-beams. With this vehicle constellation, I can usually transport 6, so got out the rotator, got a bit creative, and honestly, this thing was a bad idea. Had to dodge a few of the area signs here and there, but we're about to do the first drop off. Initially, I only want to make this about the what's it's called again? I think the pipes. Those are still missing. But since I had this thing here, I thought it would be worth showing, so here we are. Again, the issues being on the grass. Let's just do the usual thing. I'm not going to bother trying to reverse into this place here. It's just gonna be a pain. Even more so than doing it forward. What the hell? Getting these vehicles to turn, I mean, you can see if I hit the gas just how much it's going to straighten out. It's not really doing what I wanted to. I think it might be stuck on that one barrier there. Okay, you know what? This is all kinds of awful. Let's just do it the smart way. If I can make it out of here with the truck and Linky. I just get a semi-tractor and pull it in with that. That's going to be much easier. Yeah, got that one out of the way. Let's go to the parking spot. I swear to God, I'm trying to clear my throat before I do a recording, but it's just not really going too well recently. Let's just see. What do I want to use? Not the 13 gear one. I'm still considering to maybe get rid of the 13 gear Atlas version. I don't really need it anymore with the Golema. I mean, it's still good for some deliveries, like from the steel mill to the Terra factory. That's usually a heavy load, but it doesn't really go that far, so that's alright. But yeah, for a lot of other stuff, I would just default to the Golema now, because range is very important. Okay, let's see. Can I make this work? That's looking good so far. Just gonna straighten out again. Get it around the corner. Oh, that's kind of going a bit too close. But almost there. A bit of scraping, but nothing too bad. And there we go. This is now down to its regular capacity, so yeah, down to 6 from 9, so we have enough for the other 2 places, which is of course where all of this is going to go. So let's bring it over there. I'm also going to try and tackle the pipes today. They shouldn't take too much longer, so we can hopefully get some stuff constructed today. I would like to finish up the stuff on the northern island at least. Speaking of which, I think my mixies, which I kind of reconfigured a little bit, they should be done with stuff on the northern island now. So if we go over here, that has all the concrete it needs, and the one down here should have as well now. Yeah, they just got finished. So let's go back into the route and change it up a little bit, because I made a little adjustment. Knowing that the trucks will just try and grab stuff for the southern island, even if they are doing the northern loop here. it was just so inefficient, I decided to do it differently. So we are now only hauling to the spots on Jeju Island. And now that all of it is done, we can send them over to OG. So let's go. We need another spot here, then another one down here, and last but not least this one, and then it should be all good to go. I think I'll handle all of these off screen. Just doing a few on the on Jeju Island here, just to show you guys some of the completion, but everything down here is just gonna take a bit longer. I think I finished sand deliveries and also possibly all the southern H-beams by now. I'm not entirely sure. They still need pipes, that I'm certain about, but yeah, stuff has been done. We are getting closer to the finish line here, but it's still gonna take a while. But I'll be so happy once I'll finally have all of that sorted out, because having to deal with like half of the vehicles still needing manual refreshes and all of that, it's kind of annoying. Also doesn't help that Ara didn't get any properties. I might have to bring that up again on the Discord. It feels like it might have just been falling off the table. Because they had that planned at some point, including the whole thing in the same card on the Trello as the Guangjin spots, but yeah, Guangjin got done, Ara didn't. I mean, it could be the case that they are planning on more expansions for Ara and then they're going to add the spots, but I'm not entirely sure. Once again, I think it's just better to bring the topic up and see what comes of it. I mean, in a sense, the Ara bus is kind of the most important one here. Everything else pretty much optional, but the Ara bus actually allows the gas station and repair places to be open, so that's kind of a bigger deal. I actually went on onto Hoki server the other day and tried doing a delivery. Did something stupid, ran into one of those non-flexible floodlight pieces out there at the steel mill. So if you drive towards the steel mill, you'll see that there are floodlight poles on the sides and they cannot be run over, so ran head first into one after my delivery got a bit shaky. And yeah, I was just standing around in Ara waiting for my company bus to do stuff, get the town bonus up so that I could finally repair the truck. Took a while, wasn't all that interesting, but I like that I don't have to wait for that in my single player world. Okay, the game wants me to go over to Gangyang. I don't really think so. We'll do the other delivery first and then move to the other place. This is one of those deliveries where I really wish we had the Atlas flatbed already, assuming that it's going to be a similar size to this one. Because if I had the flatbed, I could have just loaded the third set of H-beams onto the truck itself and ditch the entire trailer after the second delivery, but as it is right now, there's still going to be one set of beams left on the trailer because that doesn't fit into the truck itself, and therefore we're gonna have to keep the trailer until all the deliveries are done. You know what? Screw it. Also screw the tow truck that was coming along there. We're just going to take the quick path in. Okay, so I'm kind of glad that the beams that I have in the truck are for the last place. So I can keep a bit of weight on the truck and a bit more traction and all of that. As per usual, weight is actually an advantage in some cases, and in this case it gives a bit of stability. Now I just need to find a way out of here again. This should be a good angle. Again, always keep in mind the direction that your truck, trailer, and especially the linky are pointing. Ideally, the linky should be facing a direction between the truck and trailer. Right now, that's not the case, and this is why it's not going to be too nice for me, but you know what? Brute force. I could spend 5 minutes trying to maneuver out of here, or I could do this. But yeah, I want to get the stuff set up. Right now it's just... it's getting a bit annoying. Just all the time that I need to go into the menu, refresh some vehicles, but not maybe others, because they're about to get towards the depot, and I just need everything to work out at some point. I want the stuff to be reliable. I want to only focus on refreshing the depots every now and again and not have to deal with individual vehicles anymore. Honestly, company stuff has been kind of annoying recently for multiple reasons, and I've been tempted to maybe even deactivate the thing altogether. Partially because there's something else going on it's been going on for a few updates now, where my company vehicles in unloaded areas can get stuck on each other if they encounter one another at an intersection or at a terminal. And yeah, I have some bus lines that partially overlap. Some of them go in different directions. I have truck lines going from one town to the other. It's a connected network, which is kind of cool, but it also provokes that problem to happen more often. And I'm not too happy about that one. Let me just turn up my volume a bit more for myself. Haven't really been hearing the engine too much, and that makes it hard to really get what's going on without constantly looking in the lower right at the speedometer. Or speedometer, whatever. But yeah, after this is going to be plastic pipes. I want to try loading them into a Lobo and Lobo van, just to see if they actually fit 6 instead of just 4. Jesus Christ. I don't know if I haven't made the brake stronger on the trailer here, but from what I've seen, when I try to brake, it's just not really going to do much. The trailer is a bit loose here. Okay, might also now be that, well, there isn't really much weight on the trailer's axles, so therefore there won't be too much brake power. Okay, here we go. At least I didn't screw up this corner. This is one that I like to die on when driving a fast taxi. Not that I have been driving taxi recently, it's just, yeah, memories. And taxi is exactly what I'm hoping for. Will get some focus for the next update. Because honestly, it's just... There need to be a few more viable options, especially when it comes to Comfort Taxi. Comfort Taxi needs rework anyways, because with all the grip increases, it's pretty much impossible now to really go anywhere and keep the comfort up, or at least, I mean, it's not impossible, but it's even more difficult than what it used to be. With lower grip, you could go smoothly, and it would work well for you, especially in a heavy vehicle. But as it is right now, it doesn't really do much. It doesn't really work anymore. It's just, you take any slight turn, any slight correction, you're immediately going to lose the comfort rating, and it's not really all that fun anymore. So stuff should be adjusted, in my opinion. And maybe also just get a few more vehicles that would be useful as taxis, and for that I mean 4 or 5, ideally 5 comfort points, plus also maybe an option for limousine. There's another few good options, and also of course limousine and ambulance work should be different from the regular taxi. It shouldn't work on the same exact principle. But it remains to be seen if we are going to get anything towards that end. Alright, here we are. One last drop-off. It's of course to another not so ideal side of the building. But hey, I can't really see what I'm doing regarding this thing when I'm placing down the building, and honestly I don't think the little inconvenience here would really be worth adjusting how I want the thing to be placed. Okay, let's get it into the delivery point. I kinda missed that, and the link here isn't really pointing the right direction, so I'm just pulling backwards. Okay, that worked. I'm just gonna leave it here and despawn it through the parking spot. I'm not crazy about all the maneuvering today. That can be interesting, but with how weird the terrain is and all the different masses, especially with the truck being unloaded, let's just do it the quick way. Okay, but that's at least another delivery type done. So we now go over to plastic pipes. I hope I have enough over here, but yeah, it's like almost, I mean, it's over 180. We should be good here. How many do we need per property here? I think it's going to be more than I can stack. Yeah, 3 pipes, that means it's going to be, yeah, I can only stack 2 at a time. So let's hope that we can at least fit 12 into the truck and trailer, otherwise it's not gonna be too amazing. Get the Lobo van, and then go from there. Funny thing is, I noticed recently that there is actually a new, longer parking spot on the plantation. Long enough to spawn and especially despawn the Lobo van. So right now when I when I summon the Lobo Van on any other parking spot, which is usually not long enough for it, I cannot despawn it again. So if I summon it by accident, I'm just gonna be stuck with it. Unless I have another one nearby where I can get the Lobo in, and once I connect that and get the Lobo onto the parking spot, then I can despawn it again. Yeah, let's look for the right spots over here. Okay, can only hold 4. That's not enough. I was willing to try it, but if that's what I'm getting, then no. Four is a pretty awkward amount for this anyways, because I need 3 for one place, so being able to get 3 for one and 1 for another isn't really going to do much for me. So yeah, this is the only way right now where I can despawn the Lobo Van right here, so not exactly what I've been looking for. But yeah, I hope we'll eventually get the longer parking spots in order to make that possible to despawn the stuff in more locations. But yeah, this now means that I need to go back to my other truck and trailer combo. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Atlas can hold the pipes as well, so we should be good if I just get out the same vehicles as before. Maybe I'll go with the Vamos trailer here. Keep everything enclosed. That usually looks a bit better. I like to either have everything in box vans or in flatbeds, but as it is right now, since once again we don't have the Atlas flatbed, I cannot really combine it how I want to all the time. But hopefully this will work out how I want it to. And yeah, I can put one set into the truck, so we should be good here. Building construction site. Maybe I leave out the Jiu one for now. Let's just load this first, and then where's the Gangyang one? This one. Again, not entirely ideal. If I could, I would just load a third one onto the truck so I can ditch the trailer after one delivery, but as it is, that's not how I can do it. I mean, I would need the rotator anyways. It's not going to work on its own. And the rotator takes a long time to load, but I mean, if I can make my stuff a bit more efficient, I'll usually go through the pain. But right now I don't have the option to begin with, so let's just do it how it's intended. Okay, once again it's pointing me towards the later delivery point, but I don't really care about that. I mean, we can go up here and use the dirt shortcut. But yeah, Gangyang first and then the other place. I should also check how heavy these are. They are definitely slowing me down quite a bit, and I wasn't really expecting that. Sorry. So let's quickly check here. Doesn't give me a weight at all, so that's... Oh no, wait, they are 3.5 tons. So that's 3.5 tons per item, and that's 6 items, so that's gonna be 7 for 2, 10.50, so 21 tons in total. But at least this delivery is also not gonna be the longest one. I didn't want to do the entire drive over, at least not on recording for the H-beam, so did that part off screen, including the loading stuff. That was kind of interesting, but it also just took way too long getting all the H-beams onto the trailer again. Just, yeah. Oh, jeez. No, 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 no. Please don't, please don't. Oh, thank you. I should have maybe taken the next road and not this one here. Bit of a zigzag all the way down to the construction site. Okay, so if I loaded these up correctly, let me just check. Open that door, look in. Okay, that's almost 5 kilometers away, so this is not for this location. I'll just get the semi-tractor out again. I don't want to always cheese the stuff. But yeah, getting into that little area with this constellation of vehicles, it's kinda... It's a pain. Much more fun if we can just take a tractor for a moment and deliver through that. And again, as I mentioned the last time around, if I was really only taking care of one type of one depot location here, I would have everything loaded up with stuff to the same place, and therefore I wouldn't have to consider so many things here and there. This makes it a bit more tough. Okay, not entirely sure if this is going to work with the terrain, but I'm gonna try it anyways. I'm not too scared about reversing with a semi-tractor. Okay, gonna stick somewhat close to the building because otherwise I'm going to drive through the ditch, and I'm not entirely sure if I can make it out the other side again. Okay, that's coming in pretty nicely. Oh yeah, and the whole thing auto removes you from the construction site if it gets built, because otherwise you'd be pretty stuck in there. But yeah, this is now, I think, my first permanent large depot here. I built a few other depots here and there, but they are not going to stick around. Not sure what I'm going to do with all the decoration. I don't think this is going to be the Christmas depot, but then again, I mean, it's kinda in a residential area, so maybe I should do something fun with it at least. But yeah, I think if I'm going to actually decorate the place fully, there are going to be a few more things happening besides just the depot. Honestly, this is a really nice spot, and it would be a shame if I was to only ever have a depot on here. But also, honestly, at this point, I'm kinda waiting for more decoration to be added for the houses. Or more house types in general. There's some cool stuff right now, but it also feels like if you are going for full decoration, you're just gonna have like a few houses before it's all going to repeat. At least if you want things to look realistic. You can do some crazy stuff like house stacking. I've never figured out how to do it, but I've seen it on servers pretty consistently. But yeah, for just designing a certain type of room, like a bedroom, an office room with a computer and all of that, there are only so many things that you can do right now, and it's a bit on the low side. Which is even more weird because the game actually has bought a lot of asset packs, which is also where I think pretty much all of the house decorations come from. They've definitely built their own houses now, but I don't think any of the interior bits are from the in-house model makers. But yeah, I just feel weird because there are so many more props that they could add for the house decorations, and it's just not getting done. Ah, still getting a decent frame drop here. That's curious. It's not as bad as it used to be, but maybe I should go back to the lowered settings. I got them on another backup and could just load them in. We'll see. Right now it doesn't seem like too much of a problem. Although now the frame rate is getting a bit low again as well, so I don't know. The whole thing was slightly, yeah, getting a bit zigzaggy, getting a bit loose on the rear end, and I tried to get my truck past the side of the bridge there, which worked, but didn't expect the trailer to, yeah, be a bit worse in that regard. But here we are. Okay, anyways, let's continue. Nothing really happened here. It's also pretty noticeable with deliveries like this that the road network doesn't make the most sense in the game. It's basically a scale. I mean, the it exists in real life, and it's much larger, much more densely populated. And basically, what has been recreated over here are the main interior roads for that island. And with all the other roads that are on the real one and everything else going on that we don't have in game, that network most likely makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's a real one, so what do you expect? It should make sense. Otherwise, we would have built it differently, but the scaled down version, I'm not always too convinced about that. So having such a massive highway that goes across the island and basically has nothing on either end of it is a bit weird. And again, it's also kind of nice that yeah, you're not directly going to the center of the town, where it would just cause a lot of traffic issues with everything coming off the highway and going right into the city streets. But everything right now, I don't know. It's a bit weird in some cases, but it's not like the road isn't getting used or anything. So it kinda does its job, but also yeah, not the most logical thing. And again, I also like that they are not making things too easy for the players, which a lot of players have been complaining about, to be fair. But yeah, stuff like having to reverse into some unloading areas, especially the one for the sunflower seeds on the new patch has been getting quite a bit of feedback towards it being too hard, and I mean, I still have to do that one, honestly. But from what I've seen, it seems to be a good one. The thing is, during testing, they switched the places multiple times, and only when it got into the public testing phase is where they landed on the one that they have right now. So the other ones haven't been any easier from what I can tell, and that one should also be good. But people who have been arguing for making that easier just want a drive-through basically, and I don't really care much for that. I already don't do those deliveries because I just feel like they are a bit boring. I like the new hover train and all of that. The combination of both, they look amazing, the B train thing. But it's just the same old same thing, and it's only for base reward and not even a supply chain thing, so I don't really care much about the harbor deliveries right now. I tested them a bit during the private testing phase, but I'd rather do other stuff right now. But yeah, overall to me, when it comes to those kind of things, having a difficult unloading experience is kind of a saving grace for that entire delivery. With these ones at least, when it comes to the depot construction, there's a lot of planning involved, a lot of consideration which things you want to do with which vehicles, and do you want to combine certain deliveries? How do you want to do that? So that's where the complexity comes from, including that, yeah, everything here only needs a limited number of deliveries before it's all constructed and actually working towards kind of a bigger goal here with my depot network and everything. So that's a whole nother story. The sunflower seeds currently don't have any of that, and I mean, I don't mind it. It's clear that it's going to be added at some point. I wouldn't even mind if they wait a few updates, because once again, I think other things should be a bit more important than trucking right now. But yeah, we'll have to see. I wish things were a little bit more straightforward with this game right now, but yeah, I'm trying to consider a few factors here and there. So while I think stuff like sunflowers are going to get a proper supply chain at some point, get a purpose in the game to produce something else, likely going to end up in another either export or supermarket delivery. There's also other things right now, and it's just making it hard for me to be straightforward with these topics. I'm just jumping back and forth between stuff because I just think that, yeah. Well, I want to say, get the sunflower seed supply chain done. I think right now they are potentially working on a non-tucking update, and that should definitely be the focus right now. Because it just hasn't been the focus for so long, and I've complained about it in the past, so I think it's now time to stop complaining about it, because apparently it's getting addressed, so I'm happy about that. Looking forward to see what's going to come from that update. And yeah, with that, the episode is over. As always, thanks for watching. Until next one, have a good one, and bye bye.